Oh, morning, Monday. Right, I've been through everything with the customer, they're back, so I'll keep my voice down, but basically, been through everything, so we've got a plan now for all of this. The more I look at this, the more I realise that, you know, I've got to really make it good to there, and then this will just be whatever it is. I'll do the same up there. Down here, we've still got the old panelling, so I'm actually going to remove that. I'm going to overboard that back into there, and then put a thicker piece back on that butts into my new board, and I'll panel all that back bit as well, just so we can run cables up there. I don't think we're doing anything with that other than a new bit of skirting board. So it's not that much. I've got a bit of an issue with these existing doors. I'm going to nip them off the hinges now, off the frame, and just chop the hinges in a bit hard. I think it's dropped a bit. It's probably the frame or the house has dropped a bit, to be honest with you. But yeah, so I'm going to do that as well. I might have an early day being here because I'd rather come back tomorrow with everything to do. I've just got to make that call. While I'm waiting for the electrician, I'll just slap some paint on in places as well. Just blanked out put a first coat of white in that cupboard. Because I think we've agreed now what we're going to do in here as well. It's going to be a bit of a first day back. I'm not really feeling it either. I could go hell for leather and just still have to get all my tools out tomorrow anyway, so I might as well do prep off site by picking all this up. I could go back to the workshop and, you know, machine this timber as well. I'll just do that. Right. Yeah. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's not. It's Wednesday because it was Monday. It was a bank holiday, wasn't it? God, get it right before you come on. Yeah. So basically, yesterday I went to the jobs, first day back after bank holiday, and it wasn't the most productive. Sometimes happens first day back. I was a bit preoccupied because my eldest is not particularly well, although he's actually probably finding himself at the moment. He's got like what we think is like quite severe iron deficiency. And we keep having tests and he keeps pointing to that. But every time we have a test, you then don't speak back to the same, you don't get to speak to the same doctor. And he's on medication, and we've seen private specialists about changing his diet. It just goes on forever, but basically everything we do only marginally improves it. And no one's explaining to us exactly how fine the margin is of improving it that we need to, or just how long it actually even takes. You know, I've heard some people go, oh, it takes ages to build your iron stores up. And I wouldn't mind, but there's times that he's falling behind with his schoolwork. There's times that I haven't got his concentration. I know that if everything's too much for him, and I watch him get overwhelmed when things are too busy. And that's not nice. Anyway, so I sort of was preoccupied with that yesterday, trying to get to the bottom of his last results. And finally got an appointment to talk about his results today, which I've been sorting out this morning with my wife. And it's just preoccupied me. And there was just the electrician was there yesterday as well, so I was just kind of well, I'm going to do a list of things to do, go get some materials. I've taken on a little bit of extra there as well to get the tiling kick-started, because I'm good friends with the tiler. So the plan was yesterday to pick all that stuff up, come here and get it all prepped. But as it goes, by the time I picked it up and was on hold for all afternoon on the phone, I didn't actually get that done. And I was borderline going to go over to urgent care, really, just to actually speak to a doctor face to face. So I didn't get that done. Anyway, I've got the stuff on me now. It's still a late start because I've been sorting that out this morning. My mind's still not on it, but I'm going to bring the stuff into the workshop. I'm going to get as much stuff cut as I can. Essentially, it's all for all the boxing and stuff around around all the shaker doors and things like that. It's just giving myself a head start, really. I just think it's going to be easier to cut and get, although I won't, because it's scribed, all got to be scribed, it won't be finished, but I'm just going to get it rough cut, roughly shaped, get some primer sprayed on it, because that just helps everyone out. You know, I'm not decorating this because this is just kind of part of the room, really. It's a bit of an extra in a way. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna jump on that. I might update you with bits I've cut. Might not bother, I don't know. But yeah, that's it really. Right, just done this little cock beading. We've got a little cocker spaniel just come in to say hello, didn't you? Where you come from? Hey? Hey? You little bugger. You little bugger. Hey? Coming from the farmer, ain't you? Merlin. That's your name, isn't it? Merlin, good boy. Hey, we've been good boy. You've been good boy. Hey, you got to go see your dad now, ain't you? Because he wouldn't know where you are. Hey, you're going to get on with my doggies this year. Are you? Whooping your bubble. Good boy. Come on in. You go see dad. Come on, because he'll know where you've been, won't he? He'll be looking for you. Yeah, look. Merlin. Come on. Go fish him out. Go fish him out. Good boy. Yeah, anyway, a little bit of cock beading. Made these shells. Use these as a template that I took off the job. Just sanding the edge off of this now. I always do one pass and then I send it deeper and do another pass. But I sent the depth the wrong way and now I daren't do another pass in case it sends it in, so I'm just gonna sand it in. It won't matter. Basically, I fucked up. But yeah, get all that sprayed and then go on to the list of the other bits. So the list of stuff I'm gonna spray is just there really. It's just like panels and bits and bobs, the shelves and these, and all that is, it just makes it a bit harder because just a bit firms the edges up a little bit more for the decorator. I might even spray them twice, dries that quick. Yeah, right, and that'll be it I think for a minute. What I've got to do. Yeah, I've got to do one other thing actually, which I don't have to do that in MDF or solid timber. Right, anyway, I'll work that out. I'll put the phone down to work that out. Right. Morning, it's Thursday. I've come into work at about 7:30 this morning, about 8 I think by the time I got here. Anyway, I've just cut some shelves basically. I'll just show you, I've just got them sprayed up, they're drying now. More or less dry to be fair. And I've just cleared some space in the van, so I'm going to put those in the van so they just finish drying in the van while I'm at work. That way I can get to work for about 9, because you know, it's taking me like 2 minutes to cut those and 5 minutes to spray them. It just gives me a head start for today. You'll see yesterday I did a time lapse of me boxing around that beam and doing some shaker paneling. I've got to finish that off today. I've got to cut the sockets out for her as well. And then I'm more or less done in that room for the decorator, which is really what I'm aiming for. So I can hand the, I might have to have tomorrow off because the kids are off and no one can look after them. So basically, then that means I can hand the room over to the decorator. He's got that next week, and then I can just go back in there as and when. I've got to do thresholds, I've got to put some rails up in one of the wardrobes, I've got to put handles on, but you know, we haven't got them all yet, so we haven't got the rails either because she only told me about those the other day. Yeah, it just means really I'm pretty much wrapped up, I think. Can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, and I was going to get the stuff ready for the tiler, so I might jump on that as well. But I can do that while the painter's in the room. He might not be particularly happy with it, but well, I can work around him. Right, yeah, I'll speak to you in a little bit. I'll probably just carry on the time lapse when I get there. Just me finishing off around that beam. How well that's coming out, I don't know, because it's actually quite a lot of work scribing into it and getting it all to look right, but it probably doesn't look. I probably should really zoom in for the time lapse. Don't really know. Anyway, yeah, I'll speak to you in a bit. I'll get these on the van, turn the heater off. It's warm in here. I'll speak to you in a bit. Oh God. Well, it's taken about 4 hours, that did. Unbelievable. But if you can't really see, but if you stand back and look, what I've tried to do is replicate this on the other side, because we had to hide some pipes up here anyway. This scribe is down a bit, but he's got to fill all this, because he's got to fill that cable where that cable is, and the pipes are so tight there. I've already lost loads of space. I've just had to glue that bit of board in there. I've just got to go through now, and I didn't put these lines in, didn't spot them because it had been painted. This you can barely see them, but on the other side there's sort of like tram line details, cocotte beading sort of thing. And I only put it on the edge because it was prominent on the edge. Anyway, I just shaped those in with the track saw and the chisel and a bit of sandpaper. And I mean, a lot of the others are probably done perhaps by hand, so it'll look right when it's done. And I've cut these socket holes out. It's got to put his cable in actually, just to make sure we don't lose it. Drop it down the back, and you can see I've shaped these shelves in. Replaced the originals with just some 22. What's 25? Actually, 25mm MDF. Yeah, and then put this little piece in here, splice this piece of solid in around there, spliced in, use the domino and spliced in a new bit of solid underneath. What I've got to do now is just quickly sand it and give it a bit of filler. So I've had to pretty much destroy it to get it in. Just really fought me. But I'll let it go off actually. I let it completely go off with the glue. Looks pretty good though. The paneling and stuff, it's hard to see. I'll get a shot of the end of that. I actually do like the beam now. I think it looks great. And actually, I think they're going to paint it all green. It looks great in white, but I think it will look really nice in this green. Right, so what am I going to do? I am going to, you see if you look at the doors, you see the grains coming in. I actually really like that. I really like this paint, this Benjamin Moore paint. It's really very nice. Anyway, so I'm going to drop a rail in there, well, a piece of timber in there all the way around, so the lady can hang her mops and stuff off. I'm going to drop a shelf in there. That's all pre-cut. Just needs scribing in and drilling. It'll still take a bit of time. And then I'll either have a tidy up or I'll carry on in this chaos. And I think I'm going to have time today to at least batten all this out. Yeah, that'd be good if I do. Just get the mess done. And then I'm going to get all my tools out again, because then all I've got to do is, worst case scenario, by the end of the day, I shouldn't say this, is ply and plasterboard that for the tiler. And because that will be quite involved battening that, because I've got to make sure it's solid around all the sockets, and I've got to put some extra supports in as well. But anyway, and I'll have thresholds to do, which I've got the sapele for. That's down there, covered in bloody crap now. But anyway, and then just go through and give everything a final decoration, which is and put a tiny bit of skirting board in here just to cover that. But I've got to make that now. They did have some, they were going to supply, but they don't want to waste it. It's a long length, so I'm going to make a bit for that. Then I'm there, really. Doesn't look like it because I've got to tidy up, but yeah, put rails in this cupboard, but I can't, and the shelves and that, so I've just got to address this then, because I might have tomorrow off. It means I'm only doing 2.5 days this week, or 3 days, but anyway, well, I jump on it, and I might, I mean, is it going to be interesting doing a time lapse for me battening that wall? Is it? Fuck. Yeah. Oh, and then we're supposed to put, so you can see this is all scribed in to the wall, or to the beam, you know, and scribed around it. And we're supposed to put a timber down here to hide this scribe, but I did actually scribe it in anyway. But I can't do anything about the fact it needs to be deeper in there. You know, it depends where you hit the timber, where it lands, because the timber shapes in and out on every direction. I mean, this scribe's tidy, and up to the ceiling's tidy, you know, subject to getting corked in. But yeah, now she's talking about not putting that bit of timber in. I sort of agree, really. Although there is a big gap down there. I've got a gap down the back of this as well, but you know, I made the trims, I measured the trims to be 55mm, thinking that's a bit to plane, you know, it gives me 10mm to plane in. Well, I've lost me 10mm already there, look. You know, obviously it's not square either. However, I'll be alright in the end. Yeah, starting to get there. Right, okay, so that's it really for now.
at 6:30. It's Thursday. Stayed late because I want to have a day tomorrow just with the kids at home because they get farmed out a lot to grandparents and whatnot, and it's they get sick of it. Although the eldest probably doesn't want to spend any time with me. But anyway, yeah. So I did a little time lapse of this here, which, you know, wouldn't believe it took that long, but it did. So the custom what colours they want, it all green basically. Everything's green. But yeah. So I've got to take care of that edge actually. Yeah. Do that now quickly. So yeah, you can see here I've run this round here, just soften the corner a bit, shaved that round there. It's made it look a bit oldie-worldy really. It's coming really nice. Put these shelves back, cut this little detail in. Gone for all of that anyway, I don't know. But basically that sort of marries it up now, doesn't it? You know, by the time it's all painted. The only shame is she's not going to have anything put in there, but you know, she's a bit worried about the heat not getting out. But okay, and oh yeah, and I've boarded all this for the toilet, but I haven't fully screwed the plasterboard up because I haven't got any plasterboard screws. And if you don't use plasterboard screws, they'll rust and they'll stay in the grout. Top tip for you, if you didn't know that. So if you see any odd little marks coming down the tiles, like brown marks, that's either shit or rust. Right. Yeah, I'm there really, aren't I? This job's done basically. Subject to the thresholds, I've got the sapele there. I've got still got to go upstairs and punch that out. Drop the shelves in there, drop some rails in there. It's not much of a job. I did do the shelves and the rail in this cupboard, put like a rail thing up there with smoke pegs in. So you can hang stuff off and a shelf in there that just needs corking in and painting with the rest of the it really. Right. I'm going to shake that a little bit in if I can still get to my tools, and I'll be gone. So I'll see you next week. It's Friday. We came into work, didn't we, Frank? Did we come into work? We did, didn't we? Do a little bit of work, aren't we? What are you doing?
Sweeping.
You're sweeping the floor. You're doing a good job, aren't you? Yeah? You tidied up, haven't we? We've put all the bags that were here. We've put some more up there again. Got loads done, haven't we? Now we're going to empty the van, aren't we? We're going to take a wheelbarrow over to someone as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you having fun?
Yeah.
Good girl. Doing a good job. And you did the wheelbarrow all by yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right, you want to say anything? You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Ah, little heart. I love you too. Good girl.